Hi guys, welcome to another episode on Team NOC. I am Sylvia, and as part of NOC's ongoing community outreach initiatives, this time we're partnered up with National Youth Council to tackle a problem that is prominent and on the rise among youths, and that is mental health and mental illness. Well, if you think, oh, there's a lot of awareness now, there is no more stigma associated with it, I'm gonna ask you two questions. Would you date someone if he or she has depression? Would you date someone if that person tells you, hey, I'm schizophrenic? So if these questions are making you pause, then it's time to relook whether the problem of stigmatization still exists or not. So today I have with me two special guests to tackle the problem of dating versus mental health, okay? Here we have Jiamin, who is a counselor, and Ming Xiu, who is from campus side.
Hi everyone, I'm Jiaming. I'm a counselor from the community mental health team called Mind Care at AMK FFC Community Services. So for my role, I do a lot of counseling and case work for my clients. But aside from working with my clients, my team and I also do a lot of outreach opportunities in terms of to promote mental health awareness to the public. And we do that through innovative means such as virtual reality, the upcoming escape rooms, and as well as using mobile apps. I must say that this is not entirely my idea, but it's actually come up with together with me and my team.
Hi guys, my name is Ming Xiu. I'm the founder and executive director of Campus Sci. We're a youth mental health non-profit organization. We train young people in the schools and the workplace with basic mental health knowledge and peer helping skills so that when they go back to their schools and their workplace, they can support their peers who are in distress. Apart from that, I'm also the co-chair of the Youth Alliance. We are a ground-up youth mental health committee catalyzed by the National Council of Social Service, and it's co-led by Campus Sci and Touch Community Services together with government agencies, public agencies, healthcare agencies, and social service agencies in Singapore. Last but not least, I'm also a member of the Youth Mental Wellbeing Network, which is actually a community formed by individuals and agencies who are passionate about creating change in the youth mental health landscape in Singapore.
Wow, that's a mouthful. A lot of things that you are doing, right, for the youth in the mental health landscape, right? So today, I'll be asking you both some questions associated with mental health and dating. Okay, and you all try your best to answer because these are questions posted by our audience. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We'll try our best.
We'll try our best.
Now, remember to click subscribe and on to the first question. First question. Are you guys single or dating?
That was quite sudden.
I'm single and available.
Okay, Jiamin, are you single, dating, married?
I'm dating,
Oh, you're dating. Okay. So, would you agree that dating is quite tough?
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, 你都找不到人，你还不要讲呀。
对啦.
So I think for the average person, right, dating is already tough. But when you have mental illness in the equation, right, what do you think is the hardest thing that these people face when they are trying to date?
I think a lot of individuals with mental health conditions, they struggle with this term called internal self-stigma. To clarify, stigma is a mark of disgrace that's associated with a particular quality, circumstance, or person. And people with mental health conditions struggle a lot with this confidence and esteem about themselves. Like, I think a lot of them actually thinks that they are defected or not as good as other people just because they have a mental health condition. So there's a lot of embarrassment, a lot of disgrace that's associated with having a mental illness.
Right, and this is coming from themselves. Right, oh, that's so tough.
It is.
Right, do you see the same thing, Ming Xiu?
Based on the recent studies or polls done by NYC, about 1,500 young people, they mentioned that they feel that if they share that they have a mental health condition, right, they might be posed as a burden to the people around them, especially their partners. And hence, a lot of them find that, it is actually a very huge stigma to share or disclose their personal psychiatric or medical history. And that's why they find that, they're not, like what Jiamin has mentioned, the self-esteem, takes a hit. And hence, they feel that they're not worthy of the person who's actually being together with them.
Okay, I think that is a lot to carry on one person's shoulder, but do you really think that other people, right, don't want to date somebody with mental health conditions?
Generally, the Asia context is mental illness is still very negative, and due to poor understandings, people actually have a lot of misconceptions and misunderstanding about mental illness. And therefore, this misunderstanding can lead to them being very apprehensive to really reach out to people with mental health conditions. What's more, in a dating relationship?
So Ming Xiu, apart from, the difficulties, right, they face themselves, the difficulties that other people might look at them, right, are there any other difficulties challenges that people with mental illness face?
Oh, definitely. I mean, apart from their personal life, their relationships with their friends, their partner, their family members, I was also mentioning about, the mental health issues would also affect their careers and also their academic or their studies. Because if, let's say, some of the youths who actually came to us, feedback to us that if, let's say, they share or they disclose their past medical histories, they're afraid that, the scholarships will be revoked. Or if, let's say, they disclose their past medical histories and then during a job application, they might not get hired. However, during early this year, TAFEP and MOM has actually mentioned there's a removal of the clause of disclosure of your past psychiatric history. So I think that's a huge step towards removing discrimination in workplace mental health.
So it honestly sounds like a very tough situation to be in. But let me ask you the next question. Would you both date somebody who has depression?
I would say that I'm open to it because I have better understanding. Even though a person may be afflicted with a mental health condition, that doesn't necessarily compromise their potential or ability to date. They can still provide you with emotional support. They are just people like every one of us. And also, would you date celebrities like Dwayne Johnson, Michael Phelps, Katy Perry? All of them have mental health conditions as well. But yet, they're still very desirable, right? Or at least we would think so as a public.
That is such an interesting example you brought out. Yes, there are actually a lot of celebrities out there who actually can function, right?
Correct.
Fully functional, right? Still great at their job. Mixu, do you have any other examples to share about this?
I have friends who actually also have mental health conditions. Yeah, but they're actually doing well in their personal life and they're very sensitive individuals. They take very good care of their friends, they're more empathetic in terms of listening, being there for you, and also they are very supportive. The thing is, if you have a flu, you go and see a doctor, right? That doesn't make you weird. A mental health condition is actually just another form of illness, that you need to seek help. So what makes it so different between someone who's actually having a flu as compared to someone with a mental health condition?
Wow, that's very heartening to hear that it really doesn't matter for you, okay? But let's be real here, okay? I'm sure that we have to be more mindful when dealing or, socializing with people with mental health conditions. So what is a correct attitude? If your significant other or your partner, right, they have that existing mental health condition.
It's very important in terms of support from family, your other half, which is your partner, or even your friends, in terms of actually taking care or supporting someone who's struggling with a mental health condition. So from time to time, you can check in with your other half or even your family member to see if they're doing okay. I think most importantly, nobody wants to be seen as, not normal or lesser than an equal, right? So I think treat them like how you would treat a family member or even a friend, so that they don't feel that, they are like a beneficiary or they're like a client, right?
Yeah, so definitely aside from family and peer support, I think, we also want to be a more accepting and inclusive society towards people with mental health conditions. And that is really up to each of our own jurisdiction to really find out more about what mental health condition is. Because when we have a better understanding of mental health conditions, naturally we will be more empathetic and less judgmental towards people with mental illness, especially when there are so many negative connotations and publicity about mental illness. So it's always good to find out more.
Now let's move on to some more practical tips, okay? So let's say your boyfriend or your girlfriend, right, they have depression, right? What's a good line that you should tell them?
I may not necessarily know what is the first best thing that you should say to them, but what I can think of is the don'ts lah. What are some don'ts? Don't judge them for it. The last thing you really want to do is make them feel worse about themselves. Try not to have a lot of negative connotations with regarding to mental illness. I think what they would really look out for on the receiving end is actually your acceptance and your support. That, hey, it's okay not to be okay.
So Mingxiu, I think you mentioned earlier that it is a journey, correct?
Yeah.
So let's say he's feeling fine and then suddenly he relapses and he's feeling very emo during a time. What is something good to tell your boyfriend or girlfriend at this time?
So I think in peer support, we have this component called active listening. What you can do is you can start off by asking open questions. Yeah, like checking in, how have you been? And thereafter, if let's say your other half or your family member or your friend is more open and receptive towards, sharing, then you can ask more in-depth specific questions on some of the signs and symptoms that you have observed. For example, you can say that, I have observed that, for the past few days or the past few weeks, that you have become a bit more fatigued. Just wondering if you're okay. Is there anything I can do to actually help you or support you better? Yeah, so, with these specific questions, right, pinpointing certain signs and symptoms, then you can also actually share with your friend or your partner or your family member that you are observant, that you actually care for them because you're observant of these tiny little details of what they're going through. From that, people, once they are cared for, right, and they feel that you are genuinely concerned and caring about them, usually they will share more. And so if let's say they are after they have shared that they have such signs and symptoms, then probably with their consent, you can check in with them to see if they are willing to actually go and seek either professional help or even to share deeper challenges with you, so that you can actually bring him or her to seek help together.
So it's quite a quite a logical process, right? You start off open-ended and then you see how it goes, and then you go into the details while showing you care, and then if he's open, by then he should be lah, since you're so nice, right? Then you can actually offer, the treatments and whatever. Wow, so it's quite a science that you have developed, all these steps. Do you guys develop it at campus side?
It's not a developed one, but it's together with different mental health professionals from different mental health agencies.
Right, very nice, very useful. Now, we've heard a lot, but this is something that I'm going to ask these people who are experienced in this field, which is sharing their real life example. So the first one is a bit tough, okay? I'm going to ask you, what are the worst case scenarios that you have seen, right, where the loved ones are not supportive?
In the mental health profession, we call this caregiver burnout, of which caregivers are people who take care of people with mental health needs, and a lot of them are actually, they have a lot of lack of understanding of what mental illness is, and this leads them to be very harsh, so they can be very dismissive of their needs, especially at their low periods. They might not be supportive. They can say, like, for example, snap out of it, you can just get yourself up for this. It is not like this, because mental health conditions are medical conditions that really need proper support, especially from their surrounding family and friends.
Right.
Apart from what Jiamie has mentioned, being dismissive, they tend to compare the struggles and challenges that, everyone goes through the same thing in their work or in their studies. Why is it that everyone can do it? Why can't you do it? Right? I mean, yeah, so it's like burn, right? So the thing is, everyone goes through different struggles and different challenges in life, and how the capacity of the person being able to handle or manage that situation is very different. So that's why it's really not helpful in terms of being dismissive or comparing the situation of the person that you're supporting.
So when you see these people coming to you guys telling you these kind of things, right, do their conditions deteriorate because of their surroundings and the lack of support?
When your family and friends or your surrounding people are not supportive, recovery is a lot harder. It's really a very even tougher journey for people with mental health conditions, and that also could lead to deterioration, like you said.
Right. So on the other spectrum, right, do you have any very positive examples where, they really had a great recovery because, there's a lot of support from their loved ones?
I have friends who are married, and then one of them is struggling with a mental health condition. And so I think because of the mental health condition, the person couldn't really hold on to a stable job. Yeah, and hence sometimes this will actually take a toll on my friend's self-esteem. But I think what the husband did well was that he constantly assures her that that she's wonderfully made and she's perfect. To constantly assure her that regardless of her career status or of her condition, he will love her unconditionally. And I think this really helps in terms of elevating or even helping to boost the self-esteem. This is really encouraging, because when someone actually loves the other person or supports the other person unconditionally, be it a partner, be it a friend, or be it a family member, the other person can feel it, and this brings about hope.
Well, when you said that, I was quite touched also.
Okay.
I was like, 我没有人跟我讲 I'm perfect and wonderfully made, but it's okay. Any real life examples that you can share, Jiamie?
To add on, aside from emotional support, I think that I see a lot of practical support that caregivers can give as well. For example, like really accompanying them throughout the journey to seek medical treatment.
Right, so just accompany them to see the doctor together.
It means a lot, because for individuals to say I need help to even go to see a psychiatrist or psychological service for this is not easy because of so much stigma that's surrounding mental illness.
So apart from emotional support or like you say, physical support, right? Share with us the resources available for people with mental health conditions. I know there are a lot. So quick fire round, go.
Wow, okay. Can. So I'll name a few. We have the Beyond the Label Bell Help Board. We have the National Care Hotline. We also have the IMH 24/7 Helpline, SOS Hotline, and
So we have community mental health teams. There's actually North, South, East, West, all have. You have to go and find.
Okay.
FFCs, you can also go family service centers to seek help.
Oh, and I'll take the last one. You can also see a GP. This is something that I found out.
yeah.
Yes.
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 Okay, so but one thing I want to stress here is that apart from this very official or medical, this kind of agencies that you can go to, right? I know that both of you are doing something exciting now, right? Something that's more approachable, more friendly, with a lower barrier of entry for people who want to find out more. So tell us about what you're doing now.
Coming up on the 26th and 27th September, the Beyond the Label Committee and also the Youth Alliance are coming together to actually bring you some fun and innovative ways to actually learn more about mental health conditions in Singapore. And so on the 26th, we're going to have dialogue session on how to actually know more about mental health conditions, brought to you by Limitless, brought to you by Pandemonium, and also the Youth Alliance. We also have an e-escape room, which later Jiamin will share with you a bit more. There are also workshops available, like for example, making perfumes or even writing. And also we have like yoga. So all these are really mindfulness initiatives, fun ways to actually help you to actually take good care of yourself in terms of self-care. Yeah, we also have a virtual concert on the 27th September, Sunday.
So unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 situation, everything is held virtually, and this year's escape room will also be conducted virtually on websites. You can also play on your mobiles at a later date.
Right.
Yeah. So on the 26th of September, we're actually coming up with the first escape room on mood disorders. Yeah. So we have actually a total of 4 different escape rooms that's focusing on 4 different mental health conditions.
Okay.
So when people go through the escape room, they experience and learn what mental health conditions are like. Yeah, and there's also a peer-seeking component about how you can actually approach individuals with mental health conditions.
Yeah, and I'm very happy to hear, apart from all these official resources, we also have fun stuff to help promote mental wellness across the nation, right? So thank you both for joining me today, okay? And remember guys, the BTL Beyond the Label Festival is happening on the 26th and 27th, and we hope to see you online. It's really not hard, right, to go online. We hope you learn something, as all of our episodes on community outreach with NOC, we really hope that all these offers you insight to really help improve your life. And if you want to contribute to improving other people's life, and obviously to this cause, you can join the resources here. And with that, thank you so much for watching this episode. Remember to click here for more, click here to subscribe. Bye guys!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sylvia.